quick, how much data can you store in this chest? If you said 1.2 gigabytes, that means you've either watched mine or MapByWing's video on data. But what if I told you that's completely wrong, and this chest right here stores 3.2 quintillion bytes, but that's not all. A book can actually store 70 trillion unique characters. The end and never aren't actually as big as the overworld, but that doesn't matter because they can store 3 utabytes each, and Minecraft officially had over 2.1 billion dimensions. So let's go see these possibilities I missed in the last video and show you how I stored the entire universe in Minecraft. So to get to the point, this is a follow-up video to my other video called Minecraft is much bigger than you think. But there's so many inaccuracies there and I don't want you guys to go watch that to understand this one. So I'm just going to start from scratch and recap everything. So if you think I'm going fast at some points, that's just so I'm not repeating myself. First off, what is a byte? Well, a byte... No, I'm just going to skip through this. 1 byte is 8 bits, and there's a list of SI prefixes that compress numbers of 1,000 plus, so any doubling of 1,000. And that goes kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte, gronobyte, and finally cutabyte. And in actual data storage, like how it's configured in an operating system, mostly Windows, it's measured in kibibytes. Basically, that means each kibibyte is 1,024 bytes. So you just keep expanding until you get mebibyte and gibibyte. And the reason for this is most softwares count using the binary system, which counts in 2s, not 10s, so you can't get 1,000 bytes in binary counting. So to get a kibibyte, it's actually 1,024 bytes. And this is why when you buy a 1 terabyte hard drive and format it, Windows will display it as 931 gigabytes, because hard drives are made in terabytes, not tibibytes, and Windows will then format it to gibibytes. Now, despite that, I'm not going to be using the binary counting system. We're just going to be displaying a kilobyte as a kilobyte, not a kibibyte. Also, again, unofficial SI prefixes here that I'll be using for bigger numbers because the official SI prefixes only go up to CUDA. Okay, we know what bytes are now, so let's quickly go over how much stuff can store in Minecraft. A chest can store a total of 1,728 blocks, or bits if you counted each block as a bit. Then with shulkers in the chest, that's 46,656 bits, and then a book can have 1,023 characters per page and 100 pages for a total of 102,300 characters, which are counted in bytes instead of bits because one character requires a byte to work. Now I would say you can have a stack of 16 to have 1.6 megabytes per slot, but that's not unique data, so it's only 102 kilobytes per slot. Then you store in a shulker and then chest, and that's 74.5 megabytes of unique data. So that's everything recapped now, so let's see why Minecraft is even bigger than you know. One word. Unicode. I don't know how I missed this in the first video, but Unicode can store way more than a single character. However, only 4 bytes as much because the biggest Unicode encoding requires only 4 bytes, which is this. U plus 10 FFFD, which is technically a 21-bit code point, but it requires 4 bytes regardless. I don't know, it's some stupid Unicode thing. But for proof, if you put it in Notepad and save it, it'll save us 4 bytes. So if we do our calculations with 4 bytes per character, that's only 293 megabytes per block. However, we can jerry-rig a 16 stack using bundles because a bundle can store 16 unique books in one slot. Then you can put those in shulkers and then chests, so that's now 4.7 gigabytes per chest. But for an upgrade, this is kind of nothing because the old chest count was 1.2 gigabytes, so I went deeper. According to the depths of the Minecraft wiki, using commands, a Minecraft book can theoretically have 32.7 thousand characters per page and 2.1 billion pages, meaning it can have a total of 70 trillion characters in a single book. And if all the characters are a special Unicode character, that's 4 bytes, that's 281 terabytes per book. Now real quick, yes, you can get mad at me for using commands, but I'm not going to cheat and use NBT data blocks because then you can already get infinite data without commands. And now finally, we put 16 books in a bundle, 27 of those bundles in a shulker, and 27 of those shulkers in a chest, and you've got 3.2 quintillion bytes in one block, or 3.2 exabytes. Now how about we compare stuff with this? Yeah, so any internet comparison is legit nothing now, so this is going to be a quick chapter. Both the LTT and Mr. B servers are consumed into just this chest. In fact, they could fit in just one of these shulkers. All of Google only needs 15.5 chests for its 50 exabytes of data. Times that by 2, you got both Google and Microsoft. AWS, Amazon Web Services, only needs 76 chests for all of its data, and mind you, that's 250 exabytes. And then the entire internet is 300 zettabytes, which is just 91,379 chests. By the way, if you're wondering how I did these calculations, there's a fact sheet in the description. It's quite simple, you just divide one number by another and that's how many chests you need. Now, because the internet just does not scale properly with this, let's just see the entire Minecraft world's data capacity on this scale. Yes, you saw the chapter name. Minecraft is dumb big. Like, I'm not just talking 5 to 10 times bigger than what I first thought on the scale from my other video. No. I'm talking about such a multiplication, I can't even guess it. So let's do the math of how much a Minecraft world can store. The overworld is 60 million by 60 million blocks because it's 30 million in the positive direction and 30 million in the negative direction. So 3.6 quadrillion blocks per slice. Times that by the Y count of 384, and then the total block count is 1.3 quintillion blocks. Next, we replace every block of a chest filled with shulkers, filled with bundles, filled with 16 books. So we times 1.3 quintillion by 3.2 quintillion, and our total storage is 4.5 undecillion bytes, aka 4.5 utabytes. Also, what the frick is an undecillion? An undecillion is, it's a number. Yeah, I have no idea how to show it off. Also, for comparison, I originally thought a Minecraft world was only 1.6 runabytes, but no, it's 4.5 utabytes, which is 2.8 billion times bigger. However, you can probably tell from my voice, I'm not fully impressed by this, and the reason for that is that this is only the overworld we can store. We haven't even covered the Never and End. To add in the Never and End, both dimensions are actually the same size as each other, but not the same size as the overworld, because it's a little shorter in the Y level. So for the math, it's still 60 million by 60 million, so 3.6 quadrillion per slice, but it's only 256 blocks tall, which is 921 quadrillion. Times it by 2 for the 2 dimensions, that's 1.8 quintillion, then add the overworld to it, and that's 3.2 quintillion. So times 3.2 quintillion by 3.2 quintillion, and that's now 10.5 utabytes for all 3 dimensions. Well, we can't just stop here, come on, this is a sequel, it's gotta be better than the first video by a landslide. So what if I told you Minecraft once had over 2.1 billion dimensions, and each dimension is the same size as a regular world? The 2020 Minecraft April Fools update, 20W14 Infinite, was an update that made it so when you throw a book and quill into a portal, it would take you to a new dimension. And according to the Minecraft wiki, this update added 2.1 billion unique dimensions that could be generated. So I had one objective: replace every block in those 2.1 billion dimensions with storage. First off, this is 1.16, so the overworld is the same size as the other dimensions, which makes our math easier. But with that said, it's quite simple really. First, we gotta find the total block count of all of these dimensions, so we just do 60 million times 60 million, that's 3.6 quadrillion. Then times that by 256 for 921 quadrillion, but then we times that by the number of every dimension plus the overworld, Never and End. So 2.1 billion unique dimensions, and it gives us our total block count of 1.9 million, which is a 1 followed by 30 zeros. Now we take our block count and times it by the storage of our chest, which is 3.2 exabytes, and we get our number. And we're doing this again. Drum roll, please. 928, 40,000, 624,736,216 trillion, quadrillion, 656 quintillion, 848 sextillion, 344 septillion, 976 quadrillion, 999 nonillion, 999 decillion, 499 undecillion, 739 duodecillion, 446 tridecillion, and 6 quintordecillion bytes. And that is 6.4 rentabytes. It's infinite data. It's legit infinite. There's no way to fill up all of this, and there's no comparison to show how truly big it is. It's just the info of all of time. But we're not even done here. Minecraft has seeds, so how much data can an entire Minecraft instance of 20W14 Infinite hold? So you may think it's overkill, because it is, but it's funny. The way a Minecraft seed works is you can input up to 32 characters for the seed, and because it can also be plus or minus, it's actually 64, but because it's based off of 64 characters, the math to find how many unique seeds there are is pretty simple. It's just 2 to the power of 64. Yeah, it's just a single calculation because it's based on 64. But what is 2 to the power of 64? Well, it's 18.4 quintillion, so Minecraft can have over 18 quintillion unique worlds. Now what if we made all 18 quintillion worlds, all in 20W14 infinite, and then replace every block in the 2 billion dimensions with chess? Well, let's do the math for the final time. We already have our total dimensions block count, which is 1.90 million blocks per world. Now we times that by 18.4 quintillion for every seed, and it gives us our number for every single seed with every single dimension, which is 36.5 quadteu or decillion. Also, this number is the stupidest thing ever. I hate it so much. Then we replace all those blocks with chests, filled with shulkers, filled with bundles, filled with 16 books with special Unicode characters, and we get our number, 118.9 bijitillion bytes, which is 118.9 lumabytes. A number so big, it's actually truly infinite. But if you think about it, you could just keep generating worlds, and using chest minecarts keep stacking storage. So really, we can actually get real infinite data in this block game that came out 15 years ago. Now, I wasn't actually going to add these specials into the video, but I need the runtime to be longer, so here's some extra bits for this video. First off, how much data are we actually losing from storing this in Minecraft? Well, doing a not scientific test at all, aka asking ChatGPT to compare two numbers. Before is a void world, after is the same void world but with a book with 532 Unicode characters, which would be 2,128 bytes, and apparently it's creating an extra 14,762 bytes, which would be an increase of 693.6% more data. That isn't even getting used for storage, which means our 118.9 lumabytes becomes 931 lumabytes, even if you had the PC storage to do this. Also on data loss, you'd run out of titles to name the book, so at some point you'd have to start repeating book names over and over again on such a scale like this. You'd probably also run out of world names as well. And finally, what about the actual physical size of all these worlds? Well, Corridor Crew did a video on this, and yeah, it's actually correct. But they didn't tell you the whole story. They said it's 27 light years across, which yeah, that's correct, if it was lined up in a square. But what about if we stack them next to each other? Well, if we stacked every world next to each other, it would be 116.9 billion light years long. For some comparison, the observable universe is only 93 billion light years across, so this would stick out of the universe. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to see more data stuff, you can watch the original video on this. And while you're at it, go down there and join my Discord server. Why not? Subscribe as well, I don't care. Also, shout out to our newest channel member, Revan the Meme Lord. If you want to become a channel member, then sure, it really supports me, but